Welcome back, Quillpack, to another Click Team Firefly tutorial. Sorry I've been gone for so long. I've been dealing with some stuff, but I'm going to try to start uploading consistently. Um, Today we're going to be doing something different. Instead of first person, we're going to be going to third person and learning a camera rig. So let's go ahead and add the engine. We're going to add the camera, and we're going to change the settings of the camera a little bit. We are going to change the X position to 0, and that will line us up directly behind our player. We are going to add two primitives. We're going to rename the first one player, and we are going to change the size to 2 and the Y position to 1. We are going to change the second primitive to plane and go ahead and rename that floor. And we're going to change the tile size to 1, change the X count to 250, and the repeat to 75. We also need a light node, and let's actually add a material cache so we can set up this light properly. Whoops. Just gonna make a floor real quick. Let's just go black and white. And let's go over to the event editor, start a frame. We are going to load a material onto the floor. So load material, and material cache, get material, index is 0, and the index of the node is 0. And that looks pretty good. So now we can go edit the light. We're gonna keep it points. Actually, we're gonna experiment with it. We are going to change the Y to 100, the Z to 0, the X to 0. We are going to change the diffuse to the 122 or 127. I'm sorry. Same thing for the specular. And we're going to change the ambient to 40. And let's change the Y position to 500. We can go up a little bit more, 750. And that looks okay. We're going to add a second light node. And let's just go ahead and rename that first one Sun. And we're going to rename the second one Player Light. And we'll change the radius to 20. Change the Z to 0, 18. Actually, since this is a small cube, 10, 0, 8, 0. And that should light up the player. Perfect. And we already renamed that. We're going to need a movement node. And I think that's it. I'm just kind of winging it right now. The first thing we're going to do is have a always condition. And we always want to set the target of the camera to the player. So we need to get the position, the X, Y, and Z of the player, I believe. Like I said, I'm kind of winging it right now. Yeah, we're going to get the X, Y, and Z position. So I'm just going to copy and paste and change the axis. And then we're going to, let's see. We're going to parent the player light at the start of frame. So node property set parent, and we're going to set it to the player. And now we're going to actually get into the movement. The first thing we want to do is add a forward movement. So we're going to add a repeat while W is press command. And we are going to go to the movement node, directional movement, move a node in the direction of a point. The node that we're going to be moving is the player node. So retrieve fixed value of player node. And for the coordinates, we're going to do a little bit of math. The first thing we're going to do is get the absolute position for the camera, and we're going to subtract it by the absolute position of the player. And that keeps the camera and the player in unison. When I first started experimenting with this, one of the problems that I had was the camera was mounted in one place and it followed the player around, but not behind it like a third-person game should. It was kind of like a viewpoint, and you can just see the player running around. I'm just going to copy and paste that just to make things easier. For the Y, we're going to leave that at 0, and we're going to change the Z. And for the speed, we're going to start at negative 0.5. Now, the reason that we are using a negative speed is because of the way that the Firefly axes are set up. At the beginning of the frame, you are facing the negative side of the X axis. I believe it's either X or Z. The Z axis. You're facing the negative position of the Z axis. Sorry about that. I have Firefly, Blender, and Autodesk axis all in my head. And we are going to set the engine. So we retrieve fixed value of the engine. And we can just drag and drop the repeat command and negate it. And under node properties, we are going to stop a node, and that will be the player node. So we're going to retrieve the fixed value of the player. And now on to rotation. So I'm actually just going to drag and drop this W and change the key to A. And we want to change the rotation of the player. So node, rotation, set Y angle. We're going to retrieve the current Y angle and subtract by 1. And I'm going to copy and paste this just to make things easier. Change the A to a D, and we're going to change this minus to a plus. And that should be it. Let's go ahead and run the test. Whoops. Something off with the camera. Oh, we forgot. I think you have to parent the camera. I think I forgot to parent the camera. Whoops. Yeah, you have to parent the camera at the start of the frame. And as you can see, that's kind of a fast movement. If you want to change the movement, just change that -5. We can change it down to a 0.25. And I'm actually going to make this positive just to show you what happens when you insert a positive value. You'll move towards the camera instead of away. So I'm pressing W, and you can see that I'm moving towards the camera. So it looks like I'm moving backwards. And I'm actually going to change that to -2. And we're going to change the rotation speed. We're going to bump it up by 0.5. And you can add your own animations, your own meshes. I just decided to use a primitive just because it's easy to implement, and it will be easier for the example when I put it up on the Google Drive. That way I don't have to package anything. I want to change this light. So we're going to keep the sun. This is just a quick flashlight example if I can figure it out. We're going to change this, and we are going to change the radius to 5 and the wide to 4. And that should keep our player illuminated by itself. Perfect. And we're going to add one more light node. We are going to parent that light node. So we can just drag and drop this over to the third light node. And let's go ahead and rename that flashlight. Whoops. And we want this to be a point. And I think that actually, or we want this to be a spot. And let's just go ahead and set that to all 0. There we go. And you have a flashlight. That was actually pretty simple. And if you don't want the whole player illuminated, you can just get rid of this. I'm just going to deactivate it. Or I'm going to set the visibility off. That way your player isn't randomly illuminated. Okay. That is it for today. I am having a giveaway. If you haven't already seen, I've posted on Instagram. I've posted on Facebook. I updated the last video. That giveaway is for the standard version of ClickTeam. So anyone using the free version of ClickTeam, I have the standard version, which is currently on sale for $50, but it's originally $100. Only thing you have to do is make a platformer in the free version of ClickTeam, and that includes a title, 1 frame for gameplay, and high score, kind of like with the Choco Break tutorial. I did not want to use the whole brick break concept because I already have that tutorial out there, and I kind of want to push you into game development, trying to figure it out on your own before I just give it away. Anyone who is interested, I'm not sure if you've been on Steam, but it is summer and they are having their summer sale. I am a week late, unfortunately, but it doesn't end until the 5th. All ClickTeam stuff is 33% off, and Firefly is currently 66% off, so you can get it for less than $30. Standard version of ClickTeam Fusion is $50. I think the developer upgrade on Steam is $210. UWP exporter is $140. Mac exporter is $35. Android exporter is, I want to say, $60, $66, something like that. It's a really good deal. I mean, I've probably spent $500-$600 so far. Actually, I've spent more than that. I've spent $600-$700 on ClickTeam for the developer version, the standard version, all that. But yeah, I will have information about the giveaway in the description. Where to send your games. Please make sure you send the MFA file as well as the EXE. And first place will get the standard version of ClickTeam. Second and third will get a free copy of Him, which is a game that I'm working on. I will have my website down in the description if you want to go check out my games and find out more information about that. But that's it for today. I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.